Hey everybody, welcome back to the second episode of Inked Live. This is Richard and Steve. We're the co-owners of Anime Magic Inked. And today we're here with Rhyno, the owner of Ironwood Tattoo in Morton Grove. Rhyno, tell us a little bit about yourself and your tattoo shop.
My name is Rhyno, owner of Ironwood Tattoo, and we specialize in Japanese style tattoos. We've only been around for a little less than 2 years, but we're here to stay. So.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. You gave us a mini tour of your shop, right? As we were setting up the gear and everything. And I can tell you guys, really mean business.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really cool back there, especially your studio. You have all this artwork, and we'll do a little, walkthrough later for you guys. But, tell us a little bit about how you got into this style of artwork.
Japanese style tattoos. Well, I mean, there's so many rules that are involved in Japanese style tattoos because, people tend to forget about the culture and the folklore, and when I started I started like around 2014 or so, around that time, and I worked in a walk-in shop, and anyone could walk into any tattoo shop and ask for Japanese style tattoos, and anyone that wants to be paid will probably take it. But that doesn't mean every tattooer will know exactly what it means to do a Japanese style tattoo.
Yeah.
Like the idea of Japanese style tattoos, what's that even mean?
Yeah.
And if you think of a dragon, you could like very well do like a medieval like dragon or something like that. There's just so many different like layers of it. So the question, how did I get into Japanese tattoos? Like walk-ins came in, and I was very aware that there were a lot of rules that were involved. So I just didn't want to do a disservice to my clientele, or just clientele in general. Like people should deserve like a tattoo that they want. People don't know any better, and they should go to a tattoo shop to get like good work.
Yeah.
So for the first few times, I did refuse and be like, "Hey, I'm not the guy." But it kept coming in. People will always want Japanese style tattoos, but won't know what place to go to. So I did myself a favor and did a lot of research, and started with like a basic, like for instance, like there's 4 flowers used in Japanese tattooing, and you can't really mix it because they all represent a season. For example, like a peony represents spring.
Yeah.
And momiji, like the maple leaf, they represent fall. So why would you put those two together? It's, the seasons don't cross like that.
Yeah.
So that's like a basic rule. And me understanding that, I was like, okay, that's a rule. What other rules are there?
Yeah.
And, it goes so far. Like you have to know the folklore. Is that a samurai? Is that a warrior? Is, why can't you pair like a fudomyo with a tiger? There's so much involved. So the reason why I wanted to get into Japanese style tattoos is just because I want to do something correct for people that are looking for correct work.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great explanation. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
That's what I'm here for. That's
right?
awesome. I think that's really like noble of you. I mean, it's super awesome to hear that you're trying to like do justice for the art, form and the craft of it, so that people get, like you said, what they're looking for out of the tattoo. It kind of has that history along with it, and it's accurate too. So that's really cool.
I do the best I can. With what I got.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, well, and to us, you're the best, obviously, doing this. You've been a guest at our convention. You're coming back again this year. So obviously we're fans,
Thanks for having me. It means a lot.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having us at your shop. It's super cool. I mean, obviously people can see us on camera and they're looking at some of the artwork. And we'll do a little tour, like we talked about later, for social media, but, yeah, I mean, this stuff is super interesting. I think you do a really interesting style of tattoo, and I hope I don't butcher the name. Tebori?
Tebori, yeah.
Tebori. So tell us a little about Tebori. Like, how'd you get into it, and what does it entail? Let's start there.
Okay, Tebori. Yeah. I mean, what Tebori is essentially like a long stick with a needle attached to the end of it, and that's what we've been doing with that's what Japanese people have been doing since the 1700s,
Yeah.
It's been around forever, tattooing without electricity,
Right.
That's why I do it. But I mean, how did I get into it? It's again, starting off with understanding the rules, wanting to do stuff correct. And amongst my research, it started with understanding rules, then the folklore, then I was like learning how to speak Japanese as well. I'm still learning. It's a
Yeah.
hard language, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then essentially like learning how to do tebori. And along with that, I have to learn how to make needles, how to make ink, how to sterilize it correctly, how
Sure
to,
thing.
and that's like a thing that like, you know, not a lot of people know how to do.
Yeah.
You actually make your own ink?
I make my own. I stopped doing the ink because it's when I was doing like sumi ink.
Yeah.
It really. I mean, I'm not gonna say how long I'm supposed to do it, but
Yeah.
there's a certain amount of time that you have to do it, and a certain method that you have to do it.
Interesting.
So, but I do make the needles, which is like
I was
something.
about to ask you about that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You can't buy Tebori needles online. You know?
Really?
Yeah, we had a conversation earlier off
Yeah.
camera about like
Yeah.
you know, people being able to buy tattoo
Equipment,
machines,
yeah.
equipment, needles on like, you know,
Yeah.
Amazon or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But there are so few. There's a lot of tattooers now.
Yeah.
But now there's still very few people doing tebori.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of work involved that people don't want to do.
Yeah.
And me learning it, like it took so much time, a lot of a trial and error, a lot of like traveling, a lot of networking, a lot of things that I had to do on a lot of effort that I had to do
Yeah.
on my end that I feel like a lot of people wouldn't do because you could just get any information on the internet these
Yeah.
days, you know.
Like self-taught? I mean, just by trial and experience, or did you have to go anywhere to learn this from anybody else, or is this something that you did on your own?
It's a little bit of both. So I will get little bits of information from like people here and there.
Yeah.
You know, one person taught me how to make the needles, and I made needles, and it just didn't work for me. So I was like, oh, I want to give up. You know, why am I doing this? You know, but then I would talk to someone that I met in Japan, and he said, oh, do this configuration, and that works for me.
Yeah.
So that's already two people. And, you know, like for a while, I was like, oh, I don't know. I want to give up, you know? Like,
Yeah.
there's so many instances where I really wanted to give up. But
Yeah.
I, you know, kept going. And, like, at a certain point, like, I was like, I made it this far, and it's finally working. But
Yeah.
there's still a lot of learning that I have to do.
So some of this you learned in Japan, or?
Yeah, I would say like there's people from Japan. Like I've been to Japan only twice, but I got tattooed 6 times already.
Wow.
You know, I got tattooed like 3 days in a row each time that I went. I'm going again in March. And
You were there recently, right?
yeah, like last month.
I was gonna say we just
Yeah.
thought. Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where like learning Japanese really helps.
Yeah.
Because most people over there don't really speak it, and also I want to be very respectful when I go there because I know I'm a guest.
Yeah.
I'm a guest in Japan, and I'm a guest as a tattooer.
Yeah.
You know, doing what they do.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm super aware
Yeah,
of that.
there's such a rule of respect
Yes.
Yeah.
in Japan, that in terms of conversation, eating, drinking, whatever it may be, there's such a formality that you have to follow.
Exactly.
I understand that.
I feel like, you know, with that being said, that's just like, you know, your interaction with someone, you know, and I feel like there's a lot of that culture put into Japanese tattooing as well. Whereas like this is how you do it.
Yeah.
Goes like anyway, you know.
There's a tradition to it, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What was the question?
No, I think originally that's great. I think that's awesome. I love how it just moves, you know, as we're talking. But
Yeah.
I think originally we were talking about how you make your own needles,
Yeah.
right? So I find that incredibly interesting. Like, I mean, do you mind me asking? Is it easy to explain? Like, how do you make that? I mean, I guess in a nutshell, right? Because I'm sure there's a lot that goes into it. You know,
if it comes down to it, I just solder needles.
you solder
I soldered
needles.
them together.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wow.
Yeah, it was tough. Like when I started, when I made needles, like I would spend like a whole day and end up with like 3 needles.
Yeah.
You know, like 3 sets, you know, that I could use.
Yeah.
You know? So like, it's insane. Like that's another reason why I wanted to quit. I'm like, why am I gonna do all this work? You know, like, and then
Yeah.
like, and I would like, it takes me a long time to make one set, and if you mess it up a little bit, you got to set like the whole,
start all over.
You're in the
yeah.
final step, and then you mess up, you toss it away, and that was like 1 hour spent in the garbage, you know.
I was about to ask, how long does it take, you know, to make? You said sets of needles, like it. I guess explain that to me.
I guess
like,
a set is like, you know, if I were to use one needle, it's a set of needles. It would be like however many, and that's for one session.
Session.
that I can
Okay.
use,
Yeah. Okay.
For one day, I could probably make 10 sets of needles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that would be like, I'd block off like one day, or come in really early in the morning
Yeah.
and, yeah, just to make 10 needles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas you could go on Amazon and buy like a set of 50. Insane. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is crazy. I mean, respect.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like such dedication to the craft, man. Like I'm floored. What keeps you going? I mean, like, what is it that, about Tebori that keeps you going? Because that's such having to wake up early, come in, make the needles, kind of just keep at it. I mean, what is it that keeps you going?
I don't know. I mean, for sure, some days I do want to quit.
Yeah. Like we all do, right? I mean,
yeah.
That's normal.
Right.
Yeah.
But for sure, seeing my clients like really happy about it,
Yeah.
that keeps me going.
Yeah.
But essentially I think, between you and me and I guess everyone that's watching this video, like I think, I feel like this might sound a little vain, but I feel like now that I'm like one of the only people that do it in like, Chicago and area, I feel like it's somewhat of a sense of like responsibility. To keep it on, because like, I mean, Chicago has such a rich culture in tattooing in general.
Yeah.
So to be the first of something like it, I feel like it means a lot,
I think that's a great answer. Actually, yeah. No,
Yeah.
You obviously have such great respect for it.
I'd say that's the number one reason why.
Yeah.
I just respect it so much that
you keep the history and the tradition, and it drives you. I could tell. Like, this is not something that anybody can just pick up and do and learn in 6 months or a year and start doing this. And again, you mentioned you're one of probably the only one in Chicagoland area, correct?
I think so, yeah.
Pretty close to it. So,
well, at least that's a Chicago native. I know some people come in and out to guest spot. But
guest spots and stuff.
Yeah, you're very unique. There's no doubt about it. And the hard work and effort you put into this, and we're very honored to be here. It's like almost looking like sitting in a museum. There's so much artwork in here. I wish you could see it. Everybody who's watching this right now, I wish you could see everything. We'll do a video on it, but I could spend all day here with Rhyno, and probably will.
Yeah,
he doesn't know
such
it
a
yet.
fun vibe. It just feels like comfy and it's like a good space,
Yeah. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, it's very cool. And speaking of Japanese culture, we're actually teaming up with Japan Fest next weekend. So we're gonna have a roadshow booth at Japan Fest, which is. It's on the 19th, right?
Yes.
So it's July 19th next weekend from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. And we, Anime Magic Inc., will have a roadshow booth, and Rhyno will be appearing at the booth that weekend. So you can stop by, see Rhyno, talk to him all about Tebori, and, check it all out, and maybe talk to him about coming here to get a tattoo.
It's in Skokie. It's a big event. They get about 4,000 people, food vendors, all types of traditional Japanese dancing, samurai type sword exhibitions. So when we got invited to this, the first person I thought of was Rhyno. I'm like, we're calling Rhyno right away.
Yeah.
This is like
we have to.
this is like such a perfect fit, and it's in Skokie, which is like 10 minutes from here.
Yeah.
So it is all lined up. We've been fortunate to really line up with Rhyno from the very beginning. And,
it was perfect. Seriously. Yeah. And one of the things we're doing, we teamed up with Japan Fest to do a whole bunch of stuff. They asked us to do like their cosplay contest and a few other things. One of the things they asked me to do specifically was host. They do something called ShibaCon, and I have a Shiba. Right, I talked to you about this. I was like, I want to do like a tattoo of my Shiba. All right, and we're back. We got a little bit interrupted there just because Rhyno's shop is so popular that people keep coming up to the door. We've had like 3 or 4 people now stop in trying to, talk to you or talk to some of your artists here. So if that tells you anything about the shop, it's very popular. So we were talking about Japan Fest. I was about to say they asked us to host ShibaCon, which I'm a Shiba owner. I think I told you last year at our con, I was like, I want to get a Tebori tattoo and I want to put like my Shiba, his name's Koji, get kind of like a traditional style, version of him. And I didn't reach out to you. That's my fault.
You're a busy guy.
I'm busy, but I still plan to eventually get something from you because it's so awesome. Your work is just phenomenal.
It's all right.
Oh, come on. No, you gotta give yourself more credit than that.
Too modest.
Too modest. But anyway, so we're going to be, they asked me to do a Shiba cosplay contest.
No
so you'll
way.
get to see that while you're there. They said there's like 100 Shibas that come on out.
Oh, so you mean a Shiba that would cosplay?
Yeah, like the dogs,
yeah.
they'll be in costume. It's hilarious.
I thought you meant people that would cosplay as Shiba.
You're the second person that's told me that. When I described it to him, I was like, they're doing a Shiba cosplay contest. And they're like, people are dressing up as dogs. Okay. And I was like, no, it's the dogs dressed up. Yeah.
I thought it was that way too.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I didn't want to admit it.
Maybe it's my fault the way I'm describing it, you know, like, so you're the third person now.
I almost came dressed up as a Shiba. Thank God I didn't, because
you should. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I believe it's for a Shiba rescue.
It is for a Shiba rescue, the Midwest Shiba rescue.
Yeah. I had no idea it was a Shiba rescue.
Yeah, there is one.
I mean, who would not want a Shiba? Like it's hard to imagine.
They're great dogs if you can deal with the screaming.
Yeah, they do scream a lot.
They do scream a lot. Yeah. Steve has stayed at my house. He's staying tonight too, actually, since he's up in the area doing the podcast with us. And he knows my dog Koji. Koji loves him, but did you hear the screaming last time?
No.
See, he kept us up all night, you know? Yeah, it was a whole thing. But Steve slept through it somehow.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. Anyway, Japan Fest, July 19th. They're doing all sorts of stuff. ShibaCon, cosplay contest, cultural programming. We have a booth. Rhyno will be there. So please come check it out. It's from 11 to 6, and it is in Skokie, so right down the road from here. Mm-hmm. So people can come check out your shop right afterwards.
Awesome. Sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's chat a little bit about anime. So tell me, have you watched anything recently?
I'd say the last anime I finished up would be Solo Leveling. Finished that up. I'm not actively watching anything right now.
What did you think of Solo Leveling?
I like it. I do think it's a little.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I haven't seen it. So don't spoil it.
Yeah. How do I say it without? I mean,
yeah.
How do I? This is something like with anime fans, you got to be really careful about saying anything, right?
I feel the same way. People always ask me, like, you know, what are you watching recently? Have you, what do you think of this anime? And I always answer, I'm like, I run an anime con, 2 of them now.
Yeah.
I don't have time to watch anime. You know, right. I say it kind of jokingly. Actually, recently I've been watching Freerun. And it's pretty good. You know, I really like it. Actually, I started watching it. Sarah and I started watching it because when we did the podcast at Amy's, she was like telling us how she recently watched Freerun, and she said it was really good. And I was like, all right, I guess I'll sit down and watch it. So we've been watching it like while we eat dinner and stuff like that. And it's really good. We were at a party the other day, though, and somebody told me about Solo Leveling, and he was just raving about it. So I was curious, since you said you saw it, like, what, did you like it, or was it just okay?
Love it.
You loved it?
Yeah, I love it. I think what I was gonna say is that I feel like the whole premise of it is like real basic. Like, if you watch it, like you pretty much get like what the idea of it is.
Yeah.
But for something to be like conceptually pretty, basic, like it's still got me entertained and enjoying it. And even though I know what's going to happen next, I'm like, I still got to watch it. It's so awesome. So, I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a problem with that. And in fact, I kind of feel like, this is my personal opinion, so you can take it with a grain of salt, but I feel like if something is simple but can keep you hooked, it's a sign that it's good.
Right? Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, that's how I feel about it, but that's just me. Do you have a favorite anime, like of all time? If you had to pick one,
I'd say Attack on Titan is
Attack on Titan. That's a great one.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, so good.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Mine, I always say, is Cowboy Bebop.
Oh
and
my
I know
God.
it's very cliche.
No, not at all.
But to me, it's just, I said this on Amy's podcast too, but it's just a masterpiece. I love every piece. Every episode, all the music is just phenomenal.
Do you work with them? You plug them all the time.
I plug them all the time. I do. But I love it. And it's like, I loved not only the, I usually watch anime subtitled, but I loved that version, but I also really liked the dubbed version. And I say that in the sense that I don't always like dubbed version anime. It just depends on the anime. So to me, it was like every piece of the anime they just did perfectly, from the production to the animation to the story to the music, all that kind of stuff. It was just it goes down as a favorite for me.
Yeah, Cowboy Bebop got me into like jazz music.
Yeah,
I
think for a lot of people.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that intro is like got to be my top 3 favorite jazz songs.
Right? Yeah.
And a jazz musician would be like, "You don't know jazz music,
right? Right.
But it's so good. I don't know. I like it.
It's extremely good. We saw a Cowboy Bebop live concert this past winter. It was in Chicago. I can't remember the venue. It wasn't like a huge venue, but it was a decent sized venue. Maybe there was like 600, 700 people or something. But it was so cool. They had a full like orchestra band playing the music live while they had a big projector screen showing clips from. So they played the music in the clips so you could kind of live it like live. And then they had guest appearances by like Wendy Lee, the voice actor of Faye Valentine. She sang a song. And then they had the main guy that did the singing for most of the music at the concert. He dressed as Spike. It was just like a lot of fun, Amazing. It was really cool. I've been seeing more of that kind of stuff pop up, in the mainstream. And it's kind of one of the things we talked to Amy about too. It kind of came up was like, anime feels so much more mainstream now than it used to be when we were growing up. And I don't know about you, but like I started watching anime when I was really young. I think I was like 12 years old or something. And back then it was hard to even find anime to watch. It was either like online somewhere or you had to go to Blockbuster and pick from like 4 movies, that they had available.
Now you just go to Netflix.
And now you just go to Netflix even, or there's Crunchyroll, that you can stream. There's all these streaming services. But I feel like it's just crossed over into the mainstream in general. Like you can go down to Uniqlo, right? And they have collaborations with, anime like Naruto t-shirts, and they just released a Studio Ghibli collaboration, stuff like that. There's big brands like Coach, that are doing collaborations with anime brands and stuff. It's just kind of wild, and to see that kind of transformation in the anime scene, I guess. So I'm just curious, like, have you experienced anything like that with, I guess you don't really do, I don't want to put words in your mouth. You don't really do anime tattoos primarily. You mostly do like Japanese traditional.
Right.
So more so in that vein, do you feel like there's something similar to that in that culture of Japanese traditional tattoos that, maybe you've seen grow throughout the years, like in popularity? Has it become more mainstream, or has it always just been kind of that way to some degree? Like, is it more popular now than it was 10 years ago, or is it about the same?
Traditional Japanese tattooing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think traditional Japanese tattooing, for sure has always been super esoteric, I mean, when you put like the category traditional Japanese, like there's layers they have to get to before you even get to that point. Like you could like Japanese tattoos. Sure. You could get a black and gray samurai.
Yeah.
Realism, that's technically like Japanese.
Yeah.
And then you got like a pagoda with like a geisha over there. That to me, that's like more mainstream when it comes down to Japanese tattooing. And I feel like a lot of people want that, and then you keep going down, you get, I guess, neo-traditional Japanese, which is a little more, little less mainstream, but people still want it. Like, and then you go to Japanese tattoos, and then like traditional Japanese, and then finally Tebori.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. I wouldn't say it's like, I mean, in terms of popularity, I think, yeah, it is growing, but only because there's more people getting tattoos,
Yeah.
You go anywhere and probably 90%, 80%, high percentage, of people are getting tattooed now,
We've noticed that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, well, even just over the last, even just running the conventions for the past 5 or 6 years, I feel like we've noticed an increase of our attendees, even just at the anime cons that have tattoos of all different types, not just anime tattoos, but just tattoos in general. Steve brought that up to me actually, like the other day we were talking about that. You were like, it seems like every year there's more and more people with tattoos at the events,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I noticed them more at our events, and just in general all over.
Just everywhere. You go to like a summer festival or
exactly. And of all ages too, but it's I see more people without tattoos than with tattoos. I for whatever reason. It's just I've seen the increase demand gone up in the last 1 or 2 years, quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I've seen the same thing.
Yeah.
And it is kind of interesting. I think it's more accessible now, and maybe there's not as much stigma, around it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why that is. I mean, personally, I'm not a tattoo artist, If I had to guess, I'd say there's been like reality TV shows based on tattooing now, so it's more like mainstream in that way,
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of an interesting question. Has anybody ever done, a show, or like a series about Tebori,
I'd say you'd find it more in documentaries, just because
Documentaries,
it's
yeah.
like a little more. I don't know. I feel like tradition is. I don't know. I feel like there's such a weird thing about gatekeeping in tattooing, and I feel like, to me, I think Tebori should be gatekeeped.
Yeah.
In a way, just because, like, you're right. Like, everyone is getting tattoos, and you know what? Like, at the same time, there's more and more tattooers like being made. In fact, there's so many tattoo shops in Chicago.
Yeah.
Itself, me included.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that being said, I think that Tebori might need to be gatekeeps, because like the more and more people that do it, and people like, I feel like it becomes like less sacred. you know?
Yeah.
Here's one thing. I think in like Japan, like if traditional Japanese tattooing, like, it's super taboo out there, right?
Yeah.
But let's say like in a different world where it wasn't taboo out there and everyone had it, like, I think a lot of the mystique would be gone, if everyone had it there. There's like a bit of a wow factor, because you're not supposed to have it.
Yeah.
And because it's not supposed to be seen. And it has this like connotation with like, violence, gangsters kind of stuff, and you almost have to get it like speakeasy style back in the day.
Yeah.
Even now, like, I think, when I've gone, there's a lot of tattoo shops in like Tokyo, but again, like the same thing with over here. You could waltz into another shop in Japan and not even get a traditional Japanese tattoo.
Yeah.
You really still have to find like the right person to get a traditional style tattoo.
Well, you're the only one at Anime Magic Inc. that does this style.
Right,
Period.
exactly.
So everybody who's watching this and listening to this, just come out and watch him do this. I was fascinated last year. It was my first time I've ever seen this type of style, and it's just amazing, the artwork and what he's doing. And again, he's the only one in the Midwest. He's the only one definitely at our show. And he also does a nice panel. You do a presentation on the art of it and what he does as a special appearance. So I highly recommend it.
I do think there might be one in Wisconsin and one, I don't know.
Around.
It's scary saying like being the only person, because like,
I know.
But yeah.
Chicagoland area.
There you
Yeah. But very few, I would say, probably overall in the United States in comparison to the general.
Yeah.
It's funny that we're doing this podcast and you asked me if I've ever like been in it. So I tried to actually. So we had a guest artist. His name is Bajak, and he runs Tebori Club Instagram handle.
Yeah.
And I actually tried to like interview him, but I mean, coming over here, like, there's so much work involved. Like, you guys got 2 cameras and microphone and everything. I shot it with my iPad, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just never came to surface, just because like I just didn't have the tools equipped. Anyways, there was this question that we were kind of talking around, and I think he said somewhere. He said there's less than 100 in America.
Wow.
So that's including like Canada, USA.
In like North America.
In South America included.
In South America too.
Yeah, something like that.
Wow.
South America or like Mexico or something like that.
Yeah. So just the continent.
So
I think.
So it's got to be in comparison to like a percentage versus regular tattoo artists. It's probably going to be like 1%.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's that many tattoo artists that do, not traditional work like you do. So.
Yeah. I mean, if you put me in a statistic with like, I'm like the very 0.5% or whatever.
Right. Yeah. There's your mystique right there. I mean, you're extremely unique. I guess anybody that does Tebori, statistically, because I don't know how many tattoo artists exist, in the country or in North and South America,
Right.
overall. My guess would be a lot, and if there's only 100 people doing Tebori, I mean, yeah, it's like you guys are a grain of sand on the beach, of tattoo artists, so to speak. So that's crazy.
Yeah, I wonder if it's I don't know the number, but yeah, it's as low as like even if I said like 200-300, it's still pretty low.
You could say 1,000 and it would probably be low, right?
Right, yeah,
like
exactly,
it'd still be really low. Like
Right.
yeah, I mean that's insane. Yeah. I can't believe it. That's crazy. I want to give a shout out really quick. We recently teamed up with some really cool guys actually that are from New York. And they're called Anime Tattoo Brothers. I don't know if you've heard of them because you do more Japanese stuff, but they have a website called animetattoos.com that is a listing service for tattoo artists, and it's very exclusive, very unique. That they're also very unique in that way that they only kind of select certain people and things like that. And they just teamed up with us to expand. They have now an event listing, so we're like a featured event on their website. They're actually going to be our exclusive host for all of our artists, listing our artists for the convention. I'd be curious, about talking to them to see if, they'd be interested in listing, maybe you, since you're so unique and so talented.
Yeah, it's a great site. You could search for artists all over the United States.
Yeah.
You'll click on the state and they'll pull up the artists that they recommend and that what they have on their site. And the good thing about the site too, for tattoo artists, it costs absolutely nothing. The tattoo artists don't have to pay for it to be on it. However, you have to be selected by them and your quality of work and so forth. They set a pretty high bar on the anime style, but that's a really good idea to talk to them about your style because that'd be maybe something that they still interact, right? Whether it's that and regular
because I think there'd be a lot of anime fans that would love to cross over and have a more traditional tattoo, the stuff that you do in Tebori. And I wonder if maybe that be a good kind of crossover. So animetattoos.com, these guys are great. They're now one of our big partners and sponsors. You can catch them at actually Anime Magic in August, but they'll at our promo booth for Inked, but then also at Anime Magic Inked. They'll be coming out as guests and doing some programming themselves. So
I'll also like to mention Electrum too.
Electrum
is another sponsor of ours. They supply ink and they're very well known out of Indiana, a large company. They're actually one of our very first sponsors, and we're very excited to be working with them. You'll see more about that at the show.
Yeah, they're actually our exclusive provider of ink at the show. And they have all sorts of cool anime colored inks and things like that you'll see there. So we're really happy to team up with them. But I guess back to Rhyno, Tebori. The Tebori master, if I can call you that.
Not a master.
Yeah, that's a good. That is a good idea. Let's call him.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna market you. This is
the master. Yeah, to us, you're the master. Seriously. Is there such a thing as a trend in Tebori, or is that like, how there's trends with tattoos where people are like really into cyber sigilism, or they're really into like this thing during this time, and it kind of comes and goes. Do you find that that's the same thing with Tebori tattoos, or not really?
No, like I do think. When I do Tebori, I always want to do what, like, I do get asked to do something that's not traditional by Tebori, and it just never feels right. You know? So I don't know. Yeah, I guess there isn't really much trends to it.
That makes sense. I was just kind of curious, because it's such a unique, form of tattooing.
Right.
So it's like, I was kind of curious. Do you do other, stuff that's like Tebori but not that style of tattoo, or is it just you're just like, no, it doesn't feel right, I just stick to the traditional stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I personally try to only do traditional, but when I was on Instagram, like scrolling through, I think someone sent me this. It was this guy that did like black and gray portraits by Tebori.
Oh, okay.
It was like a phenomenal portrait too. So I was like, I think that's crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah, I feel like more and more people do pick it up and try to like insert their own like spin, their own their own creativity expression into it. But to me, like it's I don't know. It would be just a gimmick in my opinion.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because you're so focused on the traditional aspect and all of that. That makes complete sense. I think I'd probably tend to agree with you, actually. You know, not that I'm a master like you, but but yeah, that makes complete sense. Well, that's really cool.
Yeah. I do have a question.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So when you do like a complete back of some person, and I saw you doing this at our show last year and again this year, which is so much fun. How long does it take to complete something like that? Just roughly. I'm
That is
just
a
curious.
good question.
That is actually the most common question that I get.
Is it
And that is the only question that I could like never really
answer? Really?
because I actually don't know, you know, like,
Yeah.
I mean, for one thing, you know, each back piece does have like their own level amount of detail, you know. Let's say like if it was a Hanya piece for a back piece, like a mask, you know, it would be a lot faster than to do a dragon or like a warrior with that's riding like a dragon, you know, with a mirror, with like, you know, a reflection of it, you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
So
it probably depends on the detail of the piece. Yeah,
for sure, but it takes a long time, you know. And with that being said, like I think Tebori in itself, like, you know, even by machine, you know, it takes a long time to complete a back piece. So adding like Tebori, because Tebori takes a little bit more time than a machine, it does add a lot more time to it. But
yeah, I would imagine. That's why I was just curious if it took a month, 6 months, a year, or
even longer.
Even longer.
I mean, it also depends on like you know, how soon they could get in.
Oh, keep coming back for
how soon I could get them in. How frequent they could come. You know, because I mean, you know, obviously they have to come and spend money every single time. You know, and it's like their whole back.
What's the longest time you've ever spent at like a one session for a person, like nonstop? Like
longest, it have to be by machine. It was about like 8.5 hours.
Okay.
With breaks included.
Yeah.
But now with like Tebori, I always limit it to 4 hours per session. And even by machine, it's the same thing. I do 4 hours because I mean I do this every day. Tuesday through Saturday. So for me to do this, I need, like, I just want to be able, that's okay. Well, 4 hours, I think it's the amount of time where I find my threshold. It's the amount of time where I find my clients start feeling it a little bit more. And also I want to be able to get out and be able to like recover by the next person.
And be fresh and start all over. And I get it.
I think it's super important for tattooers in general to show up, to be present and be at 100% every single time that they, you know, do this on people, you know? So,
I mean, there's so much mental focus and also the physical aspect too. I mean, your hands probably get tired. You know what I mean? So
So I take it I can't walk out tonight with a full back tattoo. Do you stay all night or something? You got something really slap on me?
Overnight. But I mean, to piggyback what you said though. I like with Tebori, it's like it is like more demanding, emotionally, physically, spiritually, you know. Whereas like when I do Tebori, I actually have to listen to calmer music. I with like a lower volume, you know. It all has to be like really. It has to be like a calm environment because sometimes like I find myself like losing patience because I'm literally just chipping away. You know, and well, not literally, but you know. But I'm always careful with the word literally. Like I wonder if it's actually literally or not. But I mean, you know, my favorite analogy, is that right? Analogy is like, you know, if I had a screw and for like if I had a job to just screw in screws with a screwdriver, you know, like it would take me a lot longer than if I had like a drill, you know? So, but when I do like machine, I like listen to, I have like a crazy playlist that goes from like jazz to like metal, then to like chill hip hop, and then to like, you know, crazy stuff.
Everything.
And I'm able to like talk and converse while I do machine and everything. Like it's a party, you know? But when I do Tebori, like it's like I can't even talk because
it's like meditative.
Absolutely. And it's important for the client too. In fact, I learned this because when I went to Japan to get tattooed, one of the artists was playing like shamisen, which is like a Japanese guitar. he was playing traditional shamisen music while he was tattooing me. And like you could hear the picking at the same rhythm as like the Tebori, like
Oh,
clicks,
wow.
you know. So it was like really cool to see like the synchronicity in that, and it was like a real calm environment. And when you guys go see my station, like I adopt a lot of like things that like made it calm for to create that peaceful atmosphere.
Yeah.
Another artist like just had a TV in the background, and they were playing sumo, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there was just something calming with like a TV in the background.
Yeah.
So, and then another artist played like atmospheric, like D&B, like, you know, kind of music.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like psychedelic, like
That's cool.
D&B, and that's what I played today when I was tattooing today. So it's just a lot of stuff that got me in the zone, and it got the client in the zone too. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know me, I'm a huge believer in music.
Yeah, you are.
So, you know, obviously,
music's important. For
music
sure.
is super important,
Yeah.
and it sets the mood. You know, music is a language all on its own. So
Yes.
I agree,
Yeah.
100%. Well, thanks for having us, Rhyno. This has been just an awesome conversation. It's been so nice to sit down in your shop and look around at everything constantly, because like my eyes keep darting around. There's so much artwork, and
I'm looking at Rhyno, and I keep looking at all the art, and I'm trying to focus.
I know I keep trying to look at you, and then I'm like,
I get distracted easily. I can't sit still.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be I don't know if you did a tattoo for me. I don't know if I can sit more than 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So you're probably
you can have like 100 sessions.
Can you be like knocked out like the dentist? Like, you know, they can put you to make you sleep, and I just wake up.
Oh my god! I mean, there was a, I don't know what to call it, a trend of that happening.
Really?
And, like,
Really?
someone passed away.
Oh,
Like
no!
Yeah, it was like an influencer or something like that.
What?
But through but a few people, mainly like influencers and athletes and people famous. Yeah,
They got put under for a tattoo?
Yeah.
Oh
I've
my
never
God.
even heard of that. That's crazy.
It's
Yeah,
insane.
I was just kind of making a joke, and that was a bad joke.
Apparently it was real.
That was the worst joke I ever made.
Yeah, but truthfully, thank you for having us. This is a great shop. Again, everybody listening, this is Ironwood Tattoo in Morton Grove. Come see Rhyno and all of his awesome tattoo artists here at the shop. You know, we're going to have Rhyno at Anime Magic Inked in November from the 21st to the 23rd at the Hyatt Regency O'Hare. You know, and I think, Steve, before we kind of outro and cut the podcast, I think you had a question for Rhyno, didn't you?
Yeah, I kind of had a surprise.
A surprise moment? Yeah, I think he's going to put you on the spot.
Yeah, Rhyno looks a little nervous. Like, oh,
He's
crap.
like,
Bring it on.
Yeah, okay, get ready. So there's kind of a running joke among my friends, the tattoo community, that I own and run a tattoo convention, and I don't have a single tattoo. I mean, you can't tell. I've got nothing. I don't have a single one. So I'm going to ask Rhyno if he would do my very first tattoo, and ask if you would do it for me.
I'd be honored.
I'm honored that you'll do it. So I'm not going for the full back thing yet. So, but I really would like for you to do mine.
I'd love to.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, maybe at time of the show we'll make time.
Yeah,
It's
let's
just-
do it.
Yeah, so I'm super excited. 'Cause first time I said we met Rhyno and I saw his stuff. Rich and I have just been dying. This is our first time being at the studio, and I'm just mind blown by everything. So this is we really thank you for not just being at our convention, but allowing us to come here and see what you do and spend this time with you. So, and we may never leave. We may be here.
yeah, we might.
Yeah, I think
Rhino's
we could go
going
one
to
more
kicking us
hour
out.
Keep going.
Yeah.
We'll film episode 3 in like 5 minutes. You know?
Yeah. Well, that's all I got. Again, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We should be bowing him. He's the master, right? So
Yeah,
that's how we're gonna
right.
Finish
Yeah.
it, right?
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Thank you again, Rhyno. Thank you to our sponsors, and thank you everybody listening. We'll see you at Anime Magic Inked in November, and we will see you on the next episode. Take care.
Take care.